the Maid of Baggrave Hall. In the rolling pastures of Leicestershire, where the village of South Croxton dozes under ancient elms, stands Baggrave Hall, a sturdy manor of weathered stone and shadowed secrets. Its name, known to every soul in the parish, is no mere whimsy but a grim legacy born from a night of cunning and blood in the early 17th century. The tale, passed down through generations, tells of a maidservant's bravery, a disguised robber, and a potato sack that christened the hall with a name that chills the heart to this day. It was 1627, and Baggrave Hall was the pride of the Cheney family, minor gentry whose wealth came from wool and tenant farms. The hall, with its mullioned windows and oak-panelled chambers, was a beacon of prosperity, but its isolation made it a tempting target for rogues. That autumn, Master Richard Cheney and his wife, Eleanor, were called to London on urgent business, leaving the hall in the care of their trusted maidservant, Joan Thatcher. At 22, Joan was sharp-witted and resolute, her hands calloused from years of scrubbing pots and tending fires. The Cheneys relied on her loyalty, and Joan, who'd served since girlhood, took her charge seriously, her only company the hall's creaking timbers and a tabby cat named Tib. On a moonless November night, as rain lashed the windows and the wind moaned through the chimneys, a frantic knocking shattered the hall's quiet. Joan, stirring broth in the kitchen, hesitated, her hand tightening on a ladle. The Cheneys had warned of bandits roaming the Leicestershire lanes, preying on lone travellers and unguarded homes. Yet the knocking grew desperate, accompanied by a woman's plaintive cry, "Mercy, please. I'm lost and soaked to the bone." Joan, her heart softened by pity, unbolted the door, revealing a bedraggled figure in a sodden cloak. The woman, who called herself Marjorie, was slight, her face pale and her voice tremulous. "Bandits chased me from the road," she sobbed. "I beg shelter till dawn." Joan, wary but compassionate, ushered Marjorie inside, seating her by the kitchen fire. She offered broth and a blanket, studying her guest as the flames cast flickering shadows. Marjorie's tale was piteous, widowed, penniless, fleeing a cruel brother, but Joan's instincts prickled. The woman's hands, though small, were rough, her cloak too large, and her eyes darted to the hall's dark corners as if mapping its treasures. As Joan stoked the fire, she glimpsed Marjorie's boots, heavy, mud-caked, and unmistakably a man's. Her blood ran cold. This was no widow but a robber in disguise, likely scouting the hall for a gang waiting in the night. Joan's mind raced, but her face betrayed nothing. She'd heard of such ruses, men donning women's garb to infiltrate homes, their blades hidden under skirts. Alone, with no weapon but her wits, Joan devised a plan. "You must be parched, Marjorie," she said, her voice warm. "Let me fetch some wine to cheer you." She retrieved a flagon of the Cheneys' finest claret, pouring generously into a pewter goblet. "Drink deep," she urged, refilling the cup as Marjorie gulped, her caution dulled by the fire's warmth and Joan's feigned kindness. Joan sipped only water, her eyes never leaving her guest. The wine worked swiftly. Marjorie's words slurred, her head lolling as she mumbled of a hard road. Joan, seizing her chance, slipped to the pantry where a cleaver hung among the curing hams. Her heart pounded, but fear gave way to resolve. She'd not let the hall fall to thieves, nor her own life be forfeit. As Marjorie slumped into a drunken stupor, snoring by the hearth, Joan crept behind her. With a whispered prayer for forgiveness, she raised the cleaver and struck, severing the robber's head in a single, grim blow. Blood pooled on the flagstones, and Tib hissed, darting into the shadows. Joan, trembling but steady, dragged the body to a corner, the head wrapped in a sack to stem the gore. When the Cheneys returned at dawn, weary from their journey, Joan met them at the door, her apron stained but her gaze unyielding. "I've a tale for you, master," she said, leading them to the kitchen. There, in a potato sack, lay the robber's remains, the head beside it, the man's face revealed, pockmarked, bearded, a stranger known to none. Joan recounted the night, the knocking, the disguise, the boots, the wine, and her desperate act. Richard Cheney, pale with shock, clasped her shoulder. "You've saved us, Joan. This cur would have brought ruin." Eleanor, though faint, nodded, her eyes wide with awe. The Cheneys buried the body in an unmarked grave far from the hall, the sack its only shroud. The village buzzed with the tale, and Baggrave Hall earned its name, a grim jest born from the potato bag that held the robber's corpse. Joan, hailed as a heroine, was given a purse of silver and a new gown, though she never spoke of that night again. The cleaver, cleaned but never used, hung in the kitchen as a silent sentinel. The hall prospered, but its hearth bore a faint stain, scrubbed yet stubborn, a reminder of Joan's deed. Centuries later, Baggrave Hall stands, its name a curiosity to passers-by. Villagers tell Joan Thatcher's story, embellishing it with ghosts, a headless figure in the lane, a woman's hum by the fire. The potato sack, some say, is buried beneath the kitchen flagstones, its contents restless on stormy nights. Joan's fate is lost to time, but her courage lingers, woven into South Croxton's lore. And in the hall's quiet hours, when the wind rattles the windows, some swear they hear a cat's hiss or the clink of a goblet, as if Joan still watches, her cleaver ready, guarding Baggrave Hall from shadows that creep in the dark. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, follow, subscribe, and comment below.